Almost every anime fan flying to Japan has the same plan. Akihabara. Just go to Akihabara. It's the answer. Here's the thing. Depending on what you're actually looking for, new figures, vintage rarities, women's-focused manga, or just a genuinely good deal, Akihabara might be the right place, or it might be completely wrong for you. Japan's anime shopping scene is not one street. It's a network. Tokyo alone has at least 3 distinct areas, each with its own specialization. And Osaka, Kyoto, and Nagoya each have places that will change your trip if you know about them. This video covers all of it, organized by area, organized by type. By the end, you'll know exactly where to go. Before we get into locations, take 30 seconds and figure out what you're actually after. It will save you hours. Are you looking for new, current season merchandise? Used and out-of-print items? Women's-focused content? Otome games? BL? Shoujo? Budget figures at unpredictable prices? Or cosplay fabric and craft materials? Your answer changes everything. Let's go through each one. Tokyo. Akihabara. New and used, same street, completely different shops. Akihabara has a reputation as the anime capital of Japan. That reputation is earned, but it also covers 2 very different shopping experiences that happen to share a postcode. First, AmiAmi, in Akihabara Radio Kaikan on the 4th floor. Walk out of Akihabara Station and you're already here. AmiAmi is the go-to for new figures, model kits, and character goods. The stock is deep, the turnover is fast, and the prices are consistently described by international visitors as reasonable. One Reddit user put it simply, AmiAmi's got a nice variety of kits and plenty in stock. If you want to check a lot of current titles quickly without getting lost in a building, this is your starting point. Tax-free available. Multiple payment options including major international cards. Next, Mandarake Complex. Same neighborhood. Completely different world. Mandarake Complex is what happens when a building dedicates itself entirely to used manga, doujinshi, vintage figures, cards, and subcultural items that you simply cannot find in new merchandise shops. International visitors call it a must-visit thrift store for anime fans. The structure is vertical, each floor more niche than the last. You're not browsing, you're hunting. The stock is genuinely strong. Staff quality, depending on the floor, can vary. That's well documented in reviews and worth knowing going in. Tax-free, available from 5,000 yen before tax. Photography is generally prohibited inside, so leave the camera in your bag. IKEBUKURO, the world's largest anime store, and the women's fandom hub. First, Animate IKEBUKURO flagship store. This is the largest anime retail store in the world. That sentence sounds like marketing. It is also accurate. Animate IKEBUKURO carries books, goods, CDs, Blu-rays, games, trading cards, and event merchandise across multiple floors. Everything here is new and official. The store has an English website, accepts tax-free purchases, and takes credit cards, IC cards, Alipay, and WeChat Pay, which makes it one of the most internationally accessible anime shops in the country. For first-time visitors who want to understand what Japanese anime retail looks like at its most comprehensive, this is the place to start. The main weakness is crowds. Even on weekdays, checkout lines get long. Weekday mornings before noon are the most comfortable time to visit. And if you're a deep collector looking for rare or vintage items, you'll find it underwhelming. It's a mainstream, current season store by design. Next, K-Books Doujin-kan in IKEBUKURO. Animate is new and official. K-Books is used and specialized. K-Books Doujin-kan focuses on women's-oriented doujinshi, BL books and goods, otome game merchandise, and used anime and game items aimed at female fandoms. The response from international visitors who are into this category is consistently strong. One review described it as a must-go if you're planning a trip to Tokyo. It even has an entire floor dedicated to just otome. Another called IKEBUKURO, the absolute best place to find shoujo treasures. The reason it's valued internationally is practical. Merchandise that gets marked up significantly through import and resale overseas is still at realistic prices here in the used market. Check the official K-Books social media before visiting to confirm current floor configurations. The chain reorganizes its specialist locations periodically. NAKANO Broadway, a different category entirely. Mandarake, Nakano. NAKANO Broadway is not a substitute for Akihabara. It's a separate thing. Located inside a shopping complex in Nakano, Mandarake here has built its identity around older series Showa and Heisei era collectibles and niche items that simply don't surface in Akihabara at the same rate. International collectors are direct about it. If you want older stuff or have specific requirements, NAKANO Broadway is great. Some visitors find prices lower than Akihabara. Others note it's not as cheap as it used to be. What hasn't changed is the discovery rate for items that haven't appeared anywhere else on your trip. The aisles are narrow. The experience is dense. That's the point. Tax-free processing is handled at the 4th floor service counter. English language support is available. Book Off. The one most guides. Skip. Book Off Ikebukuro Sunshine 60 Street. Book Off is Japan's largest secondhand retail chain. Their core business is books, CDs, and games, but they also carry figures, and in significant volume. The reason collectors check Book Off regularly is pricing inconsistency. Because they buy from the general public, the person selling them a figure doesn't always know its market value. This means you might find a figure worth 10,000 yen priced at 800. You might also find nothing in particular. That unpredictability is the whole point. Some larger Book Off locations also carry used clothing. The Ikebukuro Sunshine 60 Street store is a practical choice because it's a short walk from Animate, which means you can run a new merchandise sweep and a second-hand hunt in the same afternoon without much transit time between them. Osaka and Kansai. If you're traveling in the Kansai region, you do not need to take a Shinkansen back to Tokyo for anime shopping. Osaka has its own ecosystem. Osaka Nipponbashi, the main event in Western Japan. First, Mandarake Grand Chaos. In Osaka, this is the building you go to first for used subcultural goods, middle-grade and high-grade used figures, manga, doujinshi, all concentrated in one location. The international response has been strong. One TripAdvisor review called it heaven for anime and manga collectors. Compared to the Akihabara complex or Nakano, specialist collectors note it doesn't quite reach the same ceiling. But for Western Japan, nothing else in the area comes close to this density. Tax-free available. Photography inside is prohibited. Next, Surugaya Road Anime and Hobby Store. Also in Nipponbashi, and a strong complement to Grand Chaos. Surugaya carries both new and used merchandise. Figures, model kits, outlet figures, toys, anime goods, music CDs, video software, plush, and lottery items. The store opens at 10 a.m. and closes at 9 p.m., which fits well into a full travel day. English signage is present. Tax-free available from 5,400 yen before tax. Price comparison with other shops is recommended before buying. KYOTO, a supporting role, with one exception. Kyoto's anime shopping density is significantly lower than Osaka's. That said, there are 2 stops worth knowing. First, Surugaya Teramachi. Located near Shijo Kawaramachi in the Teramachi shopping area, open until 10 p.m. on weekdays and weekends. Prices run about 10 to 15% higher than other Surugaya locations, but still better than nearby book-offs for selection. Think of it as the practical option for days when Osaka isn't accessible. Second, Nomura Tailor, Shijo flagship store. This one is for a specific type of visitor. Nomura Tailor is not an anime goods shop. It is one of Japan's largest fabric and craft material retailers, and it carries character fabric, Japanese pattern fabric, cosplay materials, and sewing supplies in volumes that regularly shock first-time visitors. One Reddit user simply wrote, "There was so much fabric. If fabric or cosplay materials are part of your trip at all, Kyoto becomes worth including specifically because of this store." Nagoya, for travelers in transit. Mandarake, Nagoya. If you're passing through Nagoya, the Osu district has a Mandarake branch worth a stop. Strong for doujinshi and prize figures specifically. Tax-free available. Prices aren't always low, so verify before purchasing. One practical note before we wrap up. Weekday mornings are quieter across every area on this list. During Comiket weekends in August and December, crowds and sellouts across Akihabara and Ikebukuro reach peak levels. Factor that into your timing if you can. Japan's anime shopping scene is not one place. It's a network, built over decades, organized by type, spread across multiple cities. Now you know how the whole thing works. Subscribe for practical Japan travel advice without the panic.